So I'm thinking about grace and ease and response versus reaction. And I'm thinking about this because of the recent events in my life. So about 3 months, less than 3 months ago, my daughter was living with two other girls, one of which moved in her mother, who was obviously a drug addict and homeless. And it became an unbearable situation for both my daughter and another roommate that was there. So we ended up having to pull her out of that situation, which displaced her living situation for several weeks while we tried to navigate through getting out of a lease, which I am here to tell you is not easy. We did have to file a police report and move towards getting a restraining order to have the documentation to enable us to get out of the lease. We finally moved through all that, and it was crazy. And 3 weeks later, somebody T-boned my daughter, ran a red light, and come to find out they're a meth user without a license or insurance. They did cause bodily harm, and the car was beyond repairable. So we've been dealing with that, navigating through healthcare and insurance and getting a new car and what have you. And shortly after that incident, I got news that my father has cancer. So all of these things have happened within the last 3 months. And me being a mama bear, I got to handle it. And I did, and happily. But it makes me think about the process. And even though it got pretty hairy there, and I did find myself going all over the board with my thoughts and my emotions, and my process was at times reactive and at times responsive. In the end, today, as I'm doing the video, and before I did the video, I was thinking about that responsiveness and reactiveness and grace and ease. And the reality is, reactiveness often doesn't go hand in hand with grace and ease, but responsiveness does. When we respond, we usually think about how we're going to respond. When we react, a lot of times we just react from a place of kind of dysfunctional emotional upheaval, or from a place that is not always healthy. Not that our responses are always healthy, but it's something to think about and consider. Should I react to this, or should I respond to this? Respond often requires pause. Reaction often just happens. So that's the message today. I have found through time, with age, right? Age brings knowledge and the opportunity to practice the knowledge and skills and become more wise. In the past, I wouldn't have handled these situations the same. In fact, we've all had stuff to handle, right? Like, challenges happen all the time and they don't stop. And so I've had lots of challenges in a short time in the past, but I was more reactive than I was responsive, and I didn't experience the process as being very full of grace and ease, unlike more recently. So I'm just sharing. I'm sharing so that people might look at what's going on in their life and think about, am I reacting or am I responding? And am I handling this with grace and ease? And if not, I have some control. Not of my circumstance and not of other people, but I have some control of how I'm going to respond, and if I'm going to be graceful in my response. So that's it. Grace and ease. Reaction or response. Choose, just for the health of it.